Ladies and gentlemen, Christmas has officially come and gone. Hopefully all of you had a fantastic holidays, Hanukkah, Christmas, Kwanzaa, whatever the hell you celebrate. I hope you had a great time, spent it with some family, had a grand old time, and hopefully Santa brought you something that you wanted. But today we're going to be diving right back into Modern Warfare and something that has been going on within Modern Warfare throughout the holidays, revolving around Ghost, or Simon Ghost Riley. Currently, as of right now, there is an Easter egg going on within the game, making it look like Ghost is going to be coming back very soon. In today's video, we are going to be diving in depth, looking at what this Easter egg is, why it's going on, and when Ghost is going to be coming to the game, because there's been a lot of confusion revolving around this Easter egg, and I just wanted to clear it up and talk about what is actually going on within this Easter egg. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. If you do enjoy the video, it is always appreciated if you hit that like button. Without further ado, let's dive in and talk about Ghost. So this Easter egg was first found about a week ago. I believe the first one that was found was on Euphrates Bridge. And essentially what this is there's random TV sets around various maps in multiplayer that have static on them. This static was actually going on at the launch of the game. The static was there, however, the picture never got interrupted like it does now. Now, the picture gets interrupted, and what it does is show you an image that is very clearly someone with a ghost mask on. Now, as it turns out, months ago, some of you may have seen this same face before. A couple of months ago, an image got leaked that was what you are seeing on screen here. A man wearing a somewhat new ghost mask, and this is considered to be the Ghost of Verdansk. That's what the image is kind of labeled as. Not Simon Ghost Riley, not just Ghost, specifically the Ghost of Verdansk. And it is assumed that this is what's going to be coming back to Modern Warfare at some point in some sort of DLC. Now, as it turns out, Euphrates Bridge is not the only location where this Easter egg takes place. This is on every single TV that was previously in the game that had static on it. I've seen it on Ramazah, Crash, Arkalov Peak, pretty much half of the maps in the game currently have this Easter egg on it. Now, not all of the maps have this, and I tried to take into account all of the maps that have it and comparing them. Do they all take place in Urzikstan? Are they all in Verdansk? Because that would kind of make sense with the Ghost of Verdansk. But there is no really correlation between the maps that it's on and the maps that it's not. It just seems to be kind of random and take place at all of those locations where there was previously a static TV before this update actually happened. As far as if these locations have some sort of crossover, I personally couldn't find any. However, I do think that there is a lot more to this Easter egg that no one has talked about. Now, as far as Easter eggs go, when they're put into a Call of Duty game, 90% of the time, there's more to them than meets the eye. And I think that this is a perfect example of that. Everyone sees this Easter egg and immediately just goes, oh, well, Ghost is coming back to Modern Warfare. Personally, I believe there is a lot more than that, and it all comes down to the TVs. Now, don't get me wrong, I still think that Ghost is coming to Modern Warfare relatively soon, and that this Easter egg is promoting that. However, I do think that there's more involving the TVs. If you think back to the beginning of Season 1, they introduced a new cinematic when you boot up the game. This cinematic both shows the two new characters, both Mara and Nikto, and it introduced them. But at the very end of the cutscene, as it zoomed out, we saw Al-Assad in a very mysterious room. And as we discussed at the time, this room almost perfectly resembles Broadcast from Call of Duty 4. Now, I won't go into as much depth as I did the first time, but if you just compare the difference between the cutscene and Call of Duty 4's Broadcast, you can see the wall on the left looks exactly the same with the door being there, the lights on the ceiling, pretty much everything about these two rooms almost matches perfectly. So it's pretty clear that this takes place in Broadcast. Now, of course, what does Broadcast have to do with other than TVs? So yes, this Easter egg that's added into the game, I do think it has everything to do with Ghost. I think that Ghost is coming back to the game, but I also think that this is going to be a little bit of a teaser for Broadcast returning to the game as well. As far as that goes, only time will tell, but I think that's definitely something we shouldn't look over. On top of that, there is one mysterious TV that this doesn't actually show up on. On the map Gunrunner, there is a flat screen TV as opposed to the previous tube TVs that we looked at before, where this Easter egg is not there. The static is still there. However, nothing appears. No ghost masks, nothing. Also, this flat screen TV kind of looks relatively similar to the one that we see in that broadcast cutscene. So like I said, I think that this is not only teasing Ghost, but also teasing the return of Broadcast. So as far as the origins of Simon Ghost Riley within Modern Warfare 2019, this goes back to the cutscene at the very end of the campaign, where we see Kate Laswell and Captain Price talk about who Captain Price wants on Task Force 141.
There he is. Simon Riley.
There's no picture.
Never. Now the rest. That's neat to know.
So the big question at this point is the Ghost of Verdansk the same person as Simon Ghost Riley? And the easy answer here is yes. They're not going to put two different people with ghost mask in a very similar series. This is just the newer version of it. It's kind of similar to how we have the different versions of Gaz in the different universes. Now, on top of that, there are some big similarities and differences. First of all, the difference is obviously the different masks. The mask that we are seeing in Modern Warfare 2019 is more of a mask itself, whereas in the old Modern Warfare, we kind of have a balaclava with a ghost painted on it and he's wearing sunglasses. The one big similarity is the headphones. Both ghosts wear those same sort of over-the-head headphones in both versions. That is really the big telltale similarity. Now, the next big thing that comes up is, what does this mean for the theory that Alex is Simon Ghost Riley, or the Ghost of Verdansk, whatever you want to call him at this point? And, well, one of the big differences that we're actually seeing compared to the campaign is that the Ghost of Verdansk doesn't seem to have any tattoos on his right arm, at least in the image that got leaked a couple of months ago, whereas Alex within the campaign has tattoos on both arms. Now, there have been some images of calling cards leaked within Modern Warfare that appear to be the opposite of this, that the Ghost of Verdansk actually does have tattoos, he just didn't in the early images. So really the only way we're going to get an answer for this is when Ghost actually gets put into the game. Speaking of which, when is that going to be? So this is the weird part to me. The timing of this doesn't make any sense, because the obvious answer to when Ghost would be coming to the game would be at the beginning of Season 2. However, if we look in-game, the beginning of Season 2 does not start for another 38 days. So why would they be putting this Easter egg into the game 38 days or over a month before it actually comes to the game? So what this is actually looking like is that potentially Broadcast and Ghost may be coming out before the end of Season 1, which actually would make a lot of sense. The reason why I say that is if we go back to the very beginning of Season 1 and look at the roadmap that they gave us, every single thing on this roadmap, shipment, vacant, all of the game modes have already been launched within game, which would mean for the next 38 days, Infinity Ward has nothing else that they could potentially add. My best guess as to what is going on here is that for the rest of these 38 days, there's almost going to be a second half of Season 1 added in, which could potentially give us the Ghost of Verdansk, aka Simon Ghost Riley, and Broadcast as DLC maps. Hence why we saw Broadcast in the end of the Season 1 cutscene. Because as of right now, if we look at this image here, there is nothing else that could potentially be added before the end of Season 1. So ladies and gentlemen, that is everything you need to know about the Ghost Easter egg. Hopefully you found it informative. I tried to sum up everything we could figure out about this and answer all of the questions people were having about the Easter egg. So as always, if you found it informative, if you enjoyed it, I do appreciate it if you hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, like what you see here, make sure you hit that subscribe button and have notifications turned on, as it's the best way to stay up to date on all my videos. I hope you guys had a great holiday season. I hope you enjoyed the video. And as always, guys, until next time, peace out.
We are reaching for the stars, but we're making this